If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Hey everyone, time for Puzzle Talk, the geocaching puzzle podcast brought to you by the Geocache Talk Network. Here are your hosts, Charles Watkins and Tom Brotherman. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hi.
We are back.
Funny, because that voice may be played later.
we are well, some of us are back. We were unfortunately didn't have Charles. Did they ever move your office, Charles? Are y'all still in limbo?
So our lease for the building that we're in is still up on the 31st.
Oh my.
They have put in for a 2-week extension. We'll see if we get it. So my entire federal government building may be moving in the next 5 days.
Oh my.
We're supposed to hear tomorrow morning if they'll allow us to stay an additional 2 weeks, because the new building that we're moving into still has some last minute things that have to be touched up at some level. So we may be a federal government office without a home for a week or two. All just kind of, it's sticky, and there are people from the DC office and the office out of Denver that are involved. And so a lot of it is above my pay grade, but I do know that, we're kind of in that, like, we're in the starting blocks. We're ready to run the race.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
We just don't know when somebody's going to pull the trigger and tell us that we can go. So
if there's that in between time, then you're working out of your office at home then, right?
So
you can remodel on the government's dime.
Not quite.
Unfortunately, my job requires me to be in the office every day.
Yep.
So there are parts of it that are, I'm one of the odd employees there, to where most of the employees are teleworking, and that's fine for most of the employees, but there are a random few of us that actually have to be in the office. The amount of money in equipment that I would have to bring to my house in order to work out of my home is more than probably what my home is worth. So,
Well, we sure missed you. We'll get to that here in a moment, but I guess we should do a little bit of news first.
News.
And
all right,
we'll let you start.
Yeah, so we're winding down the last week of this 2-month series of Signal in the Labyrinth. So if you have not gotten Signal out of the swamp, you have a week to get it done. The leaderboard resets on Monday, August 1st at noon UTC time. So Monday, August 1st, noon UTC, the leaderboard starts over. So my suggestion to you is that if you are still short on some points for your leaderboard and to get Signal out of the swamp, you probably need to be finished by Sunday afternoonish, depending on where you live in the world. If you live in North America, you need to be done by Sunday early afternoon before that noon UTC time hits you. That way you got enough buffer time to make sure that everything gets accounted for correctly, because if you miss one of the souvenirs through this 12-month souvenir promotion, unfortunately, you miss the opportunity for the bonus souvenir that happens at the very end. So, in order for you to get all 13 in the end of these, quickly look at your points tally and make sure that you get enough caches so that on August 1st at noon UTC, when time starts over, you are good to go for this month. So that's out there.
Yep. I got him out of the swamp. Hopefully everybody got him out. So there he is. Got him out of the swamp. Get out of the swamp. So very cool.
I solved 5 or 6 puzzles by the house. I guess they're about 3 miles from my house. Solved them last night and the night before. Didn't go out and get them. They're gonna wait until the next labyrinth comes out.
The next, yeah. Sometimes you got to time your cache finds. So real quick, I'll give a couple words about the Worldwide Cache Fest. I think it went tremendously well. It was so good seeing everybody. I was a little under the weather for part of the week, but I caught most of the week's activities, and it was nice to see everybody that we were able to see. Derek will give more information, or actually kind of already has, about Gadget Academy. I thought that went really well. I stuck my head in a couple times and saw that it was really going really well. I know some people was really cool to talk to them afterward, because some people had never soldered before and they always felt like they couldn't do it. And you think about it, a lot of people who've never done that before, they're not necessarily going to go out and buy, solder and a soldering gun and just get after it. They're just not going to do that. But in this particular situation, we were there, we had plenty of people to help. Thank you so much to all the roadies. It was tremendous seeing the help we got for various things. And it was neat to talk to people who had never done that before, and they feel, at least now, that they're able to do that, and that they could carry out, a soldering, if they ever built something, if they ever buy a kit like we gave them or we provided for them, that they purchased, that they could carry, they could do it. And so it was neat to see people kind of get out of their comfort zone and do that. And again, I think the whole week went tremendously well. So many people were able to come to Cache Fest. We were able to do everything we wanted to do. We pivoted a little bit at a couple locations. We kind of was able to allow Gadget Academy to kind of have one room, and we moved Puzzle Academy and Challenge Academy to a couple other rooms. I know that the Challenge Academy, for the most part, for their wheel, was set up in the vendor area, and they were, every time I walked in there was a line for Challenge Academy. So I know that, and we ran out of prizes, which is, not good that we ran out, but it was cool that there were so many people that were interested that we were able to give out every prize we had. In fact, we even bought some extras and were able to give out those prizes as well. So, the response was overwhelming, and which was great. Well, to a point, we tried to plan accordingly, and we were able to do, I think for the most part, we were able to accommodate everybody for both Challenge Academy, their wheel plus the Wheel of Wisdom that the Chad made for the VIPs during the week was really cool. Tom's got something. What you got there, Tom?
That's what I won on the last spin of the Wheel of Wisdom.
Oh, nice. How funny. You live on, sarcasm. Yeah.
It's a little coaster thing, but
little coaster.
that fits me.
It was perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So many people loved it. Pizza Ninja was right. We had so many people who just love the Challenge Academy. So anyway, I heard so many great things, and some people are hoping that we do it again. There's been no announcement on that front, but you never know. We got to meet Kelly. Curious KDB was there. Love Challenge Academy and just bought the t-shirt that arrived yesterday. Oh, very cool. It was good seeing everybody. She drove all the way down. We had so many people who came a long way. She came a long way for this event, and but it was just great again to see everybody. And thank you so much for everybody that really made Worldwide Cache Fest such a tremendous success. So, all right, over to Charles. He has some other information to give out, some more news.
That's right. So we have confirmed that there is a successful second cacher who has solved the shirt on the back of the puzzle on the back of our Puzzle Talk shirt.
Yep.
So congratulations to Flipper from the Houston area, or maybe it's F1 Ipper. Although I think the one is supposed to be the L. So anyhow, congratulations. He's out of the Houston, Texas area. So congratulations for correctly solving the puzzle. But it sounds like we're going to be moving a slightly different direction with a new possible shirt. And so with that, we are going to be releasing the puzzle to the masses. So if you have not solved the puzzle, don't worry, it's coming. It looks something like this. It is in the show notes, so fear not. You'll be able to go back to the show notes and grab it. But wanted to let some people know that have been super close to solving it that you are on the right track. And so just keep working at it and whatnot. So we've got a couple of people, Teresa Rogers, who's a cacher out of the Abilene, Texas area. And then Darren, who's in the chat room tonight. He has made some really good headway with it and was super close to solving it as well. So keep working towards it. The prize package that is at the coordinates for the puzzle is still there last time I drove by and checked on it. So there is a Puzzle Talk coin that looks like this, one of the blue ones, as well as one of my
trackables,
personal trackable tags that I've created, and they are both hiding in a little lock and lock container like this.
Cool.
There's no geocache there at the location. That is simply hidden for whoever finds it. So if you are the first person to go find it, please take the container with you and turn it into one of your own geocaches. But the puzzle is in the show notes. We will be posting it on the Puzzle Talk Podcast Instagram page. So get out there and get looking for it, because there is still something to be found if you are the first person to get there and find it. So
Yep.
there is
And I'll
that. Congratulations.
Yep, I'll be posting the show notes tonight so people can start to take a look at it if they haven't yet. And yeah, we will be doing. There'll be a revamp, a brand new puzzle will be provided in the future on new shirts. That all's in the works, but isn't quite ready yet. But still, you can still work on it and you can solve the puzzle. Work with Charles again if you're want to work on it. We'll give you the puzzle will be in the show notes. So all right, cool. Well, let's dive into tonight's show because I really like what you guys put together tonight. And I like the way that you have it formatted. We're going to talk about what has stumped you, but also what continues to stump you. I think is really kind of a great. I think y'all have done a great job of that. So I don't know where you want to start. I'll give you. I'll put the information that you want up there. So do you want to start with Tom? Is that what we want to start with? One of those, Charles, or where we want to go?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do what has stumped Tom, and then we'll jump to what has stumped me, and then we'll jump to what has continued to stump us. So even though we host a show and are somehow self-proclaimed good at this,
Right.
there's still some of these puzzles that
No.
absolutely just throw monkey wrenches at us. And
Right.
I want to clear that up right quick. I never said I'm good at puzzles. I just like them.
You just like them. Well, talk a little bit about this first one, and I'm gonna put it in the show notes, or not the show, in the chat room, so people can play along at home. And you can kind of explain what went on with this first one here, Tom. This
that's the first one. It's Act Fast.
Yeah, Act Fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the story behind this one?
The picture's not there.
Okay.
But had the picture been there, you would look at it now and go, well, duh, I know what that is. It's simple. But at the time, I had never seen one before. They were brand new. And Act Fast was a play on the word of what that code is. It was a QR code.
Oh, okay.
But I look at the date of that puzzle. They were a
it
new
came out
thing
in 2009.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this?
And
what do I do with it?
QR1 V as in virtual, V as in virtual, D as in difficulty, G as in ground is the GC.
G as in gosh, that's hard.
Yeah. You're right though. Think about the timing of this. 2009.
If you'd never when then it's the first one it's like the first LPC you ever come across.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you've never seen one, it's like crap. And then once you've done one, well, they're a piece of cake. But until that point.
Yep. Exactly. And of course, like you said, it's interesting in that, again, if you've never seen one before, you kind of don't know where to go. I mean, you kind of look at it and go, I don't know what to do with this.
I'm trying to think what I did. I don't remember if I did took a picture of it and did the reverse image thing, or if I did Googled Act Fast. I might have done both. But I eventually found out, it's a QR code and you got to have something to scan it, and got it done.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, you mentioned your comment about came away from it learning about something new, or at least new to me. I like the area the cache is located, so forth, so on. So yeah, I mean but you were one of the first ones to solve it. I mean, not the first, but you were close to the first.
That was close.
Yeah, you were second. You were STF.
Who beat me to that? I don't have that one open right now.
2 winos plus IQ.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's not active anymore, but he was a big puzzle guy. He had some cool stuff out.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Go to the third one before we go to the second one, because the
Okay.
second one we might play the audio, see if the audio's there. I forgot to check. But
All right, let's go to the third one down, and I will put that in the chat room for people to play along.
and again, I think the picture's not here on this one.
Yeah,
But
it's missing.
avocados are good too. Had a big green rectangle on this thing, and I'm just staring at it. I was like, there's nothing in the source code. There would open up
Right.
Word, nothing there.
Avocados are good too.
And I worked for 2 hours on that thing, adjusting the hue and all the things you can do with the thing, to finally get it to where I could see that, there's stuff written in this thing. 2 hours.
That's cool.
And got it. And then I went to a puzzle solving event. It was like our Puzzle Academy thing.
Yeah.
And the guy putting it on brought this puzzle up, and I thought, I know how to do that. I spent 2 hours on it, and he showed how to do it in about 5 seconds. I felt about like that big, but
oh yeah. Well, we've all been. I mean,
open and paint and fill. Just like,
oh
gosh,
dang it. Yeah, you did it old school.
Yeah. And in that middle one there, the count, if the link works on that, I'm sure the cache is gone because it's been archived, but the link took you to a YouTube thing.
Yeah, I'll share with people.
The video is unavailable on YouTube as well.
Is it okay?
So, yeah.
Or that link is bad, because I've seen it on YouTube since, but that was a stretch, because that one, I came up with numbers that started to look like the coordinates, but then I had 10 digits.
Yeah.
And it's like the first part matched and the second part didn't. And then somebody was working on it. We were working on it for a road trip to Mississippi. Realized, well, that's the area code to Mississippi.
Oh, right.
And it turned out it was a phone number.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I always looked, at that point, certitude wasn't around or anything like that. So all you're used to looking for coordinates, either 6 numbers, 6 to 15, depending on how people did it.
Right. Right.
This was a phone number. So that was a stretch. And then it's like, okay, well, what if I dial this and this is some crazy person or something? But it was a recording. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It answered his account and told you where to go for the next part of it.
GC3 AWHR, for those that are audio listeners or listening. GC3 AWHR. This also brings up a good point we've talked about before, which is, if you do something that takes you somewhere, either a website or a YouTube video or whatever, you kind of, if you want your puzzle to sort of stick around, you kind of have to make sure that you keep up the maintenance on whatever you're going to provide. I give the example that one of my, big lessons learned about one of the puzzles I did early on was using a website that it turned out that it was a very obscure, it was a fairly obscure website, but once it was gone, it was gone. So, somebody tried to solve it and they send me a note and they go, hey, the website that you send me to doesn't work. I'm like, oh, dang it. Oh, why did, you want to try to make sure and send people to sites that are, I don't know how you want to put it. It's kind of a more stable, I guess is a good way to put it. Does that make sense? Because I mean, that was you want stability. And
Yeah.
that wasn't stable. So that's important to think about.
Yeah, and that would probably, I'd be with Tom too. You know, if I had solved this and come up with just 10 numbers, I'm not exactly sure if I would have put them into,
Right.
all right, this is a phone number. Maybe the decimal minutes of your north and west, because that would give you 2 and then 3 past the decimal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but definitely if it was for a puzzle for an area that I wasn't from, right? So if
Right.
it was an area code that I was unfamiliar with, I'm not sure that I would put that together that it was a phone number I was supposed to be getting from the end. But it's also different and unique enough that there probably aren't a whole lot of these that are out there that like attached to, you know,
Right.
your Google Voice number where you can leave a voicemail of, you know, here's your hint, or, you know, what you're looking for. You know, it essentially serves as the certitude for it.
Sure.
You know, but I like that idea and the premise behind it. It really wasn't, you know, but it's different. So, you know. So
Yeah, very cool.
I eventually found all 3 of those, so I didn't stay stumped forever.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And Ryan does point out that you probably don't want to use Wikipedia. Wikipedia may not look like it, but it changed. The pages change sometimes.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the
I have
time.
actually seen in at least one puzzle that actually depended on that.
Oh no.
Yep.
And
you had to go, you can go back and look at the changes that have been made on a Wikipedia page.
That's
right?
true.
And so
use the way back.
I have seen one of these as well where you had to go back to a specific day.
Oh man.
And somebody had just gone in there and edited a Wikipedia page to have coordinates on it.
That's slick.
And then a couple of days later, somebody got in there and was like,
no,
what is that?
It changed.
So you had to go back to a certain Wikipedia page on a specific date to find the changes that were made. And on that one day was a set of coordinates.
Wow.
And that's exactly what happened with this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you don't use a Wayback Machine. The Wikipedia's got all the history.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It shows track changes, you know, so you can get in there and see, and it'll tell you the users that changed it, you know, and whatnot. So it's kind of fun to go in and play around with some of it and see what changes on pages. But you could go back to like the hidden date, because the hidden date and the published date for the puzzle were 2 different days.
Oh, wow.
So in the time between when the hidden date was done and the published date, the Wikipedia page had changed. And so you had to know to go back in and look at the track changes that were done. It very, very rough, very rough puzzles.
Right. Still though, that's pretty slick. All right, cool. So do we want to go, where are we headed now?
Yeah, so we'll go to the
What stumped Charles?
Okay.
What has stumped me, and this first one that we're going to look at is a
put it in the chat room for people.
Yeah, is actually a good puzzle. The title of the cache is TPILB0 Mid-South. And let me scroll down. I've edited my cache page so you can't see the corrected coordinates for this. And I've taken out where it was hidden in my notes so that people can't find it, because this is a brand new puzzle cache that had me stumped. But while people were running around Memphis, Tennessee,
Right.
I got a phone call that said, "Look at this GC code, help us solve it." And so I spent a good amount of my morning from Arizona trying to solve a puzzle in Tennessee, and eventually did solve it. But this is all you get. You get a
whole lot.
certitude link.
Yeah, the certitude link, by the way, for those that are listening, 10 correct and 166 incorrect.
Yeah. I am one of the 10 correct answers to this,
Nice.
though it will take me a while to get out to Memphis to solve this. And for those who don't know, TPILB0, right? It actually tells you everything that you need to know about this puzzle.
Really?
Right. So Tom and Gary, think about this for a second, but what would TPILB stand for?
Oh, well,
Tom plays in little boats.
I'm not going to doubt that.
You mentioned Memphis, so I wonder if Tennessee is the T. No good. Okay.
No. All right. So this is manuscript shorthand for this page intentionally left blank.
Oh, TPIL. Oh, that's interesting.
So this page intentionally left blank. Now I'll tell you that the to solve this, it's all in the source code.
Okay.
Right. So if you go into let's see, view page source.
Right.
And look at the page source for this. Let me get down to where this is and share. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's only been found twice so far, very recently.
Yeah, so it's got a couple of finds on it and whatnot, but if you look at the page source for this, what you're looking for, you can validate your solution. Here's the certitude link, and then there's this right here in the page source.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Right. That's invisible ink, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say invisible ink. It's hidden because of the question mark or the exclamation point, right?
Gotcha.
So even if you highlight the cache page, this doesn't show up.
Right.
So you have to do something with this in order to solve the puzzle. This cacher hid this one in Tennessee. He's got a couple of others like this hidden in New York where he's from, but he's got some maintenance plan for this one in Tennessee. But it ended up I needed a hint in this, be like, all right, I can see this. What do I do with it? But it was this was a fun puzzle to solve. I will tell you that this highlighted section is everything that you need to know for this puzzle.
Wow.
And in fact, I liked solving it once I got the hint on it and got it solved. I like this puzzle so much that I'm going to copy this and make one.
Well, there you go.
Out here in Phoenix and drive some of the cachers here. Just absolutely crazy.
Wow.
But this page intentionally left blank. That
Clever.
along with the source code will get you everything that you need to know about it. As I was writing this in the show notes,
right?
I put on in the show notes that this puzzle will teach you the importance of blank spaces. So if you're good at picking up hints, that should tell you what you need there. So
GC9 for those that are audio listeners tonight. GC9, H is in hike, V is in virtual, 34 is the cache. If you want to look it up later, GC9HV34 is the cache that we were just talking about. And this page is left blank. This page intentionally left blank. TPILB0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. All right.
The next one that just when I first came across this, and I put in the show notes that
I love your comment
that I was one of the monkeys hitting random keys on the keyboard until, and you'll see where this comes from. This geocache is one that is called the Library of Babel. And I was like, I had absolutely no clue about some of this. Let me see if I can zoom in.
Yeah, GC6J68E.
Now, it's funny about this because this one is in Oklahoma. And I haven't solved this one, but when I was looking through this for stuff that stumped us, this hider has one in Colorado that I have solved and found.
Oh, wow.
And so that's when I saw that he had one and I didn't need to go back and like remove my notes or the corrected coordinates. I was like, let's use this one.
Yeah.
So there are several of these, but you come down here and it tells you a monkey hitting keys at random on a typewriter keyboard with an infinite amount of time would eventually type any given body of text, such as Hamlet.
Right.
So you get down in the cache page and you end up with this just
gibberish.
It is. I mean, it is, and no lie, you sit here and look at this, and it looks just like what would happen if you gave a typewriter and a piece of paper to a monkey.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just
there's nothing coherent about this.
No.
So, he gives you some hints and stuff on what to look at, but this down here at the bottom, those last three lines on this cache page really helped me, along with a Google search for the title, right?
Oh, okay.
But you will find yourself in a hexagonal room with an entrance on one wall and an exit on another wall, and the four remaining walls covered with bookshelves. Go to the third shelf on the third wall, looking for something to read. I recommend the book, and there's some more gibberish. And he tells you to turn to page 401. So if you do a Google search for the Library of Babel,
right,
you get this crazy website
wow.
that if you copy and paste all of this gibberish and you go to the hexagonal room and look at the third bookshelf,
right,
on the third shelf on the bookshelf, and you pick out the book that matches this gibberish as the title, and you open it and turn to page 401 and then paste all of this gibberish on the cache page in there, it will then spit out some random, it'll just be words.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Wow, that's cool.
Like you're reading a book, and then the next thing you know, there will be a set of coordinates right in the middle of it.
Oh, dang. That's amazing.
North 36.
Right.
The whole thing. Then your coordinates are right in the middle, and then it goes back to just being a random, excerpt out of a novel somewhere, or some history book, or a Shakespeare play or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah.
Um,
What a
and
great idea.
So but when I sat here and looked at this at first, and the first one that I looked at was not called the Library of Babel,
Right.
right?
Right.
This one that I found by this cacher, he gives you what you were looking for. But the first one that I came across
That's cool.
was just something just random for a title. And so, but this one threw me for a loop the very first time I found it. And then, but ever since then, I found 3 or 4 of these that are based off of this same thing. And I'm like, oh, I know exactly what I need to do with that.
Yeah.
But the first time I looked at it, hadn't a clue.
If you go to that website and you just hover over something, it gives you just gibberish.
Yeah, it'll turn into just gibberish.
It is, but he goes through all explanations about why hexagons.
Yeah, it's code that's really written in hex.
That's
right.
really
So
cool.
if you're good at that, hexadecimal stuff, then but the website does everything for you. You just got to know which website to go to.
Right.
And for that, it threw me for a loop.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
And then this is the third one that
you talked about this puzzle or this type of puzzle on one of our early shows, didn't you? Because this seems vaguely familiar.
Yeah, I did. In fact, I helped a friend of mine who has all of the Fix Fizzy caches in South Dakota solved. He got to this one that, Mr. Fick has rated it like a 4.5 difficulty or a 4 difficulty. It's up there. It's like cache number 67 or 72 or something like that on his 81 grid square.
Right.
But if you didn't know what you were looking for, no,
yeah.
So
Barbara pointed out that that's half the battle, knowing what website to use. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
True.
So, the third one, let me scroll. The name of this third one is called Look Out Below, and it's GC1Q2KJ, and it's in Colorado. And let me share this screen. The cache is still active, though it unfortunately is falling on some hard times. You get the cache is not at the given coordinates, but is within 600 feet. But in Colorado, 600 feet can get you a lot of places.
Yeah, get you a lot of trouble.
So he gives you these 8 set of coordinates, and you have to figure out, what's what.
Yeah.
With this, and unfortunately, right now, I was looking at this earlier. I didn't have a clue what to do with this because when you look at some of these coordinates, they just stick you out in the middle of the ocean.
Sure. Right.
Right. Every one of these sets of coordinates stick you out in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
At different spots in the middle of the ocean.
Huh. This one too has been out for quite a while, 2009. So I mean,
yeah.
And they made a comment. The cache owner made a comment that they're reactivating it.
Though currently it's not solvable in its original format, and I was looking at ways of fixing that.
Oh, okay.
And trying to see if there was a workaround for this. So the premise of this in Google Earth, they used to show you shipwrecks.
Oh, okay.
but you had to know how to turn the ocean floor KML file on,
Right.
right? Google, for whatever reason, stopped supporting that. Stopped supporting that feature in like 2020, right? And so if you look at this after going through and solving the puzzle, but it tells you it's a 35 millimeter film canister. The cache is still active. The cache is still there.
Yeah,
You just
try to get Hugh, because we're able to pull it up. It is active, so I think maybe you have the wrong coordinates there, buddy. Try it again, because it is coming up. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So that KML file no longer exists in Google Earth, and there are some people that have like a stored copy of that KML file because they downloaded it. And so I've been going through like some Google Earth help desk files and forums today trying to find some of it, and I found a couple. So what you had to do with this is, at this coordinate would be a shipwreck for the HMS Lonely,
right,
and you had to take the words of the actual ship's name, the Lonely, right, and count it LON, right, and that gave you a number. That's what A was. And so you might be at one that's the USS Indianapolis, right, and so you'd have to take how many letters are in Indianapolis.
Right.
And that's what you put in for A, B, C, D, E, right? And then he gives you a checksum. But currently, because you don't know what the names of these shipwrecks are, because the file no longer exists on Google's, right?
Crud.
Unfortunately, you can't solve this. But when I first got to looking at it, and I was like, wait a second. Every one of these sets of coordinates put me out in the middle of the ocean. Why? That makes no sense. And it took me a long time of struggling with this before somebody said, oh, hey, did you know that there's an ocean floor setting in Google Earth where you can go in and turn the ocean floor on and look at mapped and known shipwrecks? And I was like, wait, what?
What a great idea.
And so so you were like, look out below, and you're like, below what? I didn't, but once you got that aha moment, I was like, oh yeah, ocean floor, that makes perfect sense.
Oh man. Oh wow, that's awesome.
So yeah, if there's, I'm looking to see if there's a way to get around that, or if there's someplace that there's another hidden. I found a KML file that was made by NOAA, but it's just got some of them are shipwrecks, but some of them are just like places for like people with troller nets, that just tells you that there's an obstacle on the ocean floor, and don't drag your drag net there because you're going to get it hooked on something. They don't know what it is. And none of those locations in that KML file have actual names. They're just incident numbers, right?
Right.
So it really does you no good, at least for solving this puzzle. It may be great for creating a new one. But at first, coordinates to the middle of the ocean did me no good.
Wow.
So Charles, I'm in Google Earth Pro, and I turned on in the gallery. What did I just turn on? Yeah. Oh, I turn on gallery, and then Google Earth Community, and it brought up the shipwreck at least on the first one.
That's cool. Direwolf, did you say Noah and shipwreck? Yes, but not Noah, but
not that Noah.
AA, the National Ocean
Although that guy was an amateur, shipbuilder and wrecked his first boat that he ever made.
He did, but
so this is the story.
yeah, NOAA, NOAA, right? National
Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration.
Yeah, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. Yes.
Yeah, so maybe if you've got an old version of Google Earth, it potentially still works. They've been really hard about pushing these updates.
Right.
But I believe that it's potentially been removed off of their servers for whatever reason. They were partnered with somebody, and there was, in the process of me going back to try and figure this out, there was a huge thing about how whoever they had partnered with for this was a company that went out of business, and so Google just removed it from their servers for whatever reason. So I'm sure somewhere out there I'm going to continue to look for it, but if I can figure out how to get this back to where you can solve this puzzle, I'll probably throw the CO and a hint and see if there's a way to upload the KML or KMZ file for it, so that it'll all work. But
cool.
Whatnot. But yeah, that was one that just stumped me back in the day.
So we got time for a couple. Which one, Tom, do you want to do of the two that you have there that continues to stump you? You want to do the Noda Guzzler or the origami one?
Do the origami.
Okay.
All right.
Charles will pull it up. I'll put it in the chat room for folks to.
And I know somebody's going to look at it and say, "It's that," and I'm going to go,
"Well,
cool.
Yeah, we've all done that." GC916A1 is the one we're going to take a look at. If you're playing along in the chat room, we encourage you to do that. Play along with us, or if you're listening later, you can check out 916A1, pioneer of mathematical origami. So talk to us about this one.
He must have talked about it. There's a picture, and I don't have a clue what to do with it.
There's not a lot there to, but hey, they give you a picture. That's something, right? No?
Yeah, it's something.
It's something. Where you go with it, that's the question.
Yeah,
hasn't been.
All right, who in the chat room has seen one like this?
Nobody's found this yet, by the way. Just there was a note that was written, but it was published in 2020, and we're almost 2 years down the line, and it's still an FTF. 4.5, 2 is the difficulty in the terrain on this one. 8 people are watching it.
Yep. I know based on the reviewer where this is,
right?
Who published it.
It's in my area. It's not far from me.
Vertigo, so more than likely,
it is the southern half of Texas.
Southern half of Texas, correct. And it's got to be what nowadays, if it's this this recent of a mystery, it can't be what is it 2 miles? Has to be a 2 mile radius.
Yeah. There's a lot of space in those 2 miles.
Well, there is a lot. You're not going to be able to do it randomly, that's for sure. But it's not like the old school mysteries where they could be quite a ways away from the
3 states over.
Back in the day. But so for those that are listening, they do give you, there's like an asterisk, and then there's zeros and ones, and they kind of make a tree.
Might get to figure it out. I'll go look for it for them. But
is going on? It's kind of like a decision tree, kind of.
Yeah. I
0,
don't know.
1.
I'm with Tom. At first glance, I don't know what this means, but um, I know what I do when I run into a math-based puzzle that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I call my little brother. He's got a master's in mathematics and has taken every upper level math class that the University of Texas
Cool.
offers. So I'm going to send this GC code to him because he is a geocacher in his spare time as well.
Cool.
And see what we can come up with.
Yeah. They give you sort of a formula. They don't, it's for those that are just listening. It does look like a decision tree, 0s and 1s, but there are there's information given. So like if you follow the tree to 0, from there you're given either just the number 1, or above it you've got a 0. Is it -E00? Is that what you're seeing on this, or is it the dot?
I think
Dot,
that would just be a dot, and
The
it's
dot. Yeah.
E and then parentheses double
Parentheses,
zeros.
0, 00.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
you know, I wasn't the greatest at math. Like I took calculus was as high as I went in math and whatnot. But I do know that E is a number in math, right?
Correct.
Uh,
Okay.
that's a little E.
Well, yes,
And
but
this is a big E.
so I'm gonna take some of this and send it to my brother and just be like,
E.
hey, does
Then you
this
have an
make sense?
I. Notice he has an E, and E, and then an I, and then an O,
I'd like to draw a vowel, please,
and then a
E-I-E-I-O.
W. So it doesn't
and a
follow
G.
complete
Right.
letters. Yeah, there's a So yeah, there's some real head scratcher here with a T, 110, Y 1010, N 1011.
And what? This is a 2-year-old cache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was some some type of binary thing going on of some type. I mean, they're all 1s and 0s except for the letters. You have a Y and a yes, like a yes and no. There's a V. That's really weird. Yeah, there's a lot of yeah. Yeah, you definitely have a head scratcher there, Tom. That's for sure.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
and then
You got one.
Yeah, I've got one that I'm going to share, and we've shared this. I've shared this before.
Okay.
But we're going to look at GCZ19X.
Gotcha. I'll add that to the chat room.
GMT2. It's all Phil's fault. This is a difficulty 5 puzzle. Was hidden in 2006 in Idaho. This was the oldest unfound puzzle cache in the world.
Yeah.
Until 2019.
Yeah. 2019. Yeah.
When the Blue Turtle found it.
Figured it out.
And found it in pretty good condition. The picture that they have down here, I don't think there you go. So that was the first to find prize that was in the cache container. So
wow, it did.
Nice prize.
It did
in really good condition for
it did
for being in Idaho, outside of roughly the Boise area. So it gets hot in the summertime and it gets really cold in the wintertime there.
In the elements for.
Yeah, so it did really well. And then this guy throws you the same code for a reply in his in his log, but you end up with this code, and it's 5 letters in incremental groups, right? So there are 5 letters in each group,
Yep.
and there are, in each line all has the same amount of groups of 5 letters,
Right.
to a point, and then so whatever this is, I mean, this puzzle was published in 2006, right? Yeah, 2006. It
Yeah.
has been found one time, been solved one time.
Right.
As far as we know, it's only been solved one time. So, it's got a really fun story about, Phil and the Celery Hucksters United Brotherhood, or the Chub. And then there's
Right.
the FDTSAS, which is the Federal Department of Top Secret Agricultural Stuff, right? And so it in this, he's created these fun acronyms that,
Right.
as far as I can tell, are just red herrings and have led me down the wrong path. But about twice a year, I come back to this puzzle and give it a really valiant effort before I'm bleeding out my eyeballs and roll on with life. But if somebody other than the Blue Turtle, hey, if the Blue Turtle is listening and you want to throw me a hint on this,
throw me a bone here, people.
I'm down. But if anybody in the chat room or listening online ends up with an idea to this, throw it out there.
Yeah.
We'll
idea. I got one.
So
Tom's got an idea.
I have a partial idea.
Okay.
So first go with the title. And then we'll come back to the cipher part. Go up to the title. GMT makes me think Greenwich Mean Time.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And I remember something about a Phil with Greenwich Mean Time, but I don't know what that was. So
it's all Phil's fault.
But the cipher stuff, as soon as you showed me the cipher and everything is in 5s, made me think Enigma. But you don't have a thing here telling you how many spools or the connections and.
Yep. So I kind of ran down the Enigma, and again in that, when we did a show kind of covering some of that stuff, different Enigma cipher solver websites will give you different answers for the exact same puzzle. So, as mentioned earlier in the chat room, knowing which website to go to and knowing which puzzle to use is key in solving some of these. Sometimes it is just being on the right website. You may have the right idea of how to get to the solution.
Right.
But if you're not on the right website, it's not going to do you any good.
Right.
I'm trying to remember if Cache Sleuth has a Enigma thing in it. I think it does.
It does.
He does. But the Enigma cipher that I saw in Alaska does not solve correctly on his Enigma cipher. And I know how to solve that one because I have that Enigma webpage bookmarked.
Wow.
But there you have it. So this one continues to stump me. Tom's math one is going to continue to stump me for a while.
Yeah.
Or until we get a hold of your brother.
Yeah. But it's things like that keep it fun, and even for some of these old puzzles, shows that there's do great things and hard things with old stuff that's out there. So
no, that's good. That's good. And thanks for you guys sharing your successes and your unsuccessful so far efforts on some of these tonight. But it was interesting, guys. It was it really was fascinating. Some of the things that got to work through. And so again, thank you guys so much tonight.
We
For
left y'all a few more in the show notes, but we're not going to go
sharing
through them
these.
tonight.
Yeah, there's some more in the show notes will be up here in a little bit. And so real quick, just a quick note for everyone. Next Sunday, we are going to have on some guests we've had on before. We're really excited to have the Waysiders be joining us. They're going to give us some clues, hopefully, some puzzle clues for this year's Going Caching. It's not really a puzzle show, but hey, they're puzzlers, so we got to hopefully maybe get a little bit of insight into what they're going to be doing. And amazing to be talking about things in October, but hey, it's not that far away, and we want to be able to provide everybody as much information as possible on that mega. Another thing we want to do mention something that similar to that time frame is another very cool mega Coin Fest. So Coin Fest will be coming up also in October. Give that some a little bit of your due diligence as far as looking at that mega. Take some
I guarantee
time.
you I will.
Yeah, Tom is really on board with that. I know Derek. He is going to probably be there. I'm planning to be there. I think that's going to be a really cool time. To It's not just coins, although that's of course big part of it, but there's a lot that goes around. There's a lot that's involved around that mega. So, give it some look. We highly suggest that one. Yeah, Burnt Turtles want to mention. Yep, Yuma is coming back again, so that'll be in 2023. So, yep, kind of sort of Charles's direction a little bit. There are some megas coming up. Obviously, the 20th anniversary is coming up, and some other events. But take some time to look at those, and we will see everybody on Tuesday for another gadget talk. So we will see everybody then, and for puzzle talk, we see you guys down the road, not too long. We'll do another one of these. So again, thanks you guys so much for your insights tonight, and thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you down the road. So good night, everybody.